Hello again, you're tuning in to VNA News Bulletin. Coming up next, we have your top stories.
ASEAN member states work out new IT development plan. Vietnam and Bulgaria foster economic cooperation. Industrial production index increases 9.7% in 11 months.
Ministers of Telecommunications and Information Technology from ASEAN countries have agreed to give top priority to cooperation and development in a 5-year roadmap at their meeting in the central city of Da Nang. At the two-day event that ended on November 27th, participants mapped out the ASEAN Information and Communications Technology Master Plan 2020 with the aim to promote cooperation, development and the implementation of the set targets over the next 5 years. Also within the framework of the 15th ASEAN Telecommunications and Information Technology Ministers meeting, ASEAN member states and the International Communication Union signed a Memorandum of Understanding for the 2016 to 2018 period. Accordingly, both ASEAN and the Union will boost cooperation through implementing new ideas related to information technology, broadband implementation, and build policy on telecommunication and information technology. A business forum between Vietnam and Bulgaria is expected to open up new cooperation opportunities for enterprises from both nations. Our reporters have more.
The event took place in Ho Chi Minh City on November 27th, at a time when Vietnam and Bulgaria are working to boost bilateral trade relations and investment to a new height. In the first 8 months of this year, bilateral trade between Vietnam and Bulgaria reached $52 million. This result remains modest compared to the size of the markets in both countries and the potential for expanding commercial ties. Vietnam is considered as the gateway for Bulgaria to enter the ASEAN market, while Bulgaria can open new doors for Vietnam to expand its market share in the EU. On this occasion, Bulgarian businesses discussed trade cooperation with 50 Vietnamese top businesses in the fields of industrial manufacturing, seafood processing, leather and footwear.
The National Index of Industrial Production surged 9.7% year-on-year in the first 11 months of 2015. We have more in the following report. During the period, automobile registered the highest index of industrial production rise of 29.8%, followed by television and mobile phone, up 51.1% and 38.7% respectively. Stable hikes were seen in some other products such as leather footwear, laminated steel, powder milk and fresh milk. The northern province of Thái Nguyên took the lead with a rise of 107.3%, followed by the central province of Quảng Nam and the northern port city of Hải Phòng. In the two biggest cities of Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, the industrial production index expanded by 7.9% and 7.7% respectively. As of November 1st, the inventory index of the manufacturing and processing industry increased 9.7% compared to the same period last year. Meanwhile, the number of laborers working for industrial enterprises surged 6.3% year-on-year. Tea exports during the first 10 months of the year were estimated at $170 million, a year-on-year decrease of 8.4%. The Vietnamese tea industry, as a result, is facing difficulties in fulfilling its yearly export target.
Vietnam's tea export value is only 50 to 60% that of the average price in the world market. The Vietnam Tea Association estimated that this year's export volume will fall 10% over 2014. In the first 10 months of 2015, tea exports fell more than 9% to 100,000 tons. Export difficulties have had remarkable impacts on tea producers.
There are not so many buyers this year, so the tea price and yield are not as good as in previous years.
Unfavorable conditions and falling prices have made it harder for us and lowered our income.
trẻ loại 1 và trẻ loại 2.
Many issues have led to lower tea consumption. Some worthy of note are food safety and competition from other countries. According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Vietnam's tea exports, especially those sent to the Middle East, have no branding. Most are raw materials that will be processed and shipped to a third country under the name of the distributors.
Ví dụ là chúng ta không có thương hiệu, nhất là Trung Đông.
Most of the tea we are exporting to the Middle East is raw material, packaged in carton containers. The tea will go through processing, stamped with buyer's brands. Thus, there is no added value.
Chế biến lại, người ta lấy thương hiệu của người ta.
Vietnam now has around 124,000 hectares of tea with processed output of 2,100 tons per year. Tea producers and managers have been urged to improve processing technology and raise the added value for tea exports in order to solve export difficulties.
Vietnam's electronic industry has attracted $10 billion in foreign direct investment capital. The capital mainly came from big names like Samsung, Foxconn, LG, Panasonic, and Intel.
The Foreign Investment Agency under the Ministry of Planning and Investment says, with the largest turnover and market share growth of electronics exports in ASEAN, Vietnam has grown to become the 12th largest electronics exporter in the world and the 3rd largest in ASEAN. Attractive areas in Vietnam's electronics industry are large-scale mobile phone factories. Samsung alone has invested in a $2.5 billion factory in the northern province of Bắc Ninh and a $2 billion facility in Thái Nguyên. To attract more FDI to the industry, the Foreign Investment Agency recommends enterprises to build science and technologies policies to encourage technology transfer, training, research and development, sign technological cooperation contracts with large countries, connect research institutions and businesses, and select products and sectors for research priority. Intellectual property laws should also be tightened so that domestic and foreign investors feel secure about investing, transferring technology, and developing products.
Credit cards are no longer a strange prospect for Vietnamese living in urban areas. However, due to the extra surcharges, this modern form of transaction is not being well received in the country. Mr. Đặng Văn Út owns a shoes shop in Bến Thành Market, a highly popular shopping hub in Ho Chi Minh City. When asked about credit card transactions, Út responded that while a number of customers accept the extra surcharges, others do not welcome the idea. Some people are okay with the extra 5% fee on credit card transactions, while others are not happy about it. The 5% fee often helps stabilize the flow of business profits. However, for customers, it is either a costly affair in the long run or an inconvenience when they have to find an ATM to withdraw cash. As a frequent shopper, Ms. Nguyễn Thị Phương Hải in Tân Phú District, Ho Chi Minh City, is no stranger to both of these conditions.
When shopping, I like to use credit cards, but it can be a bit inconvenient to pay extra fees every time, from 2 to 4%.
However, not all shops require such fees from their customers. To keep customers from turning away, particularly in a competitive market, a number of shops have removed the fee, despite the impact on their business.
Our shop always aims to create favorable conditions for the customers, even at the cost of our own profits. Ultimately, I think it is beneficial to both sides.
Yet after all this, it is clear that transaction with credit cards is still not meeting its fullest potential. Currently, the State Bank of Vietnam has specified that there is no distinction between pay by credit cards or in cash. Particularly, people do not have to pay extra fees to businesses when making purchases. Therefore, anyone who is charged with these fees can contact their banks to receive assistance. That being said, surcharges are still an issue in the market, leaving a bad impression on consumers. As such, perhaps there should be a more effective solution to make credit card transactions more popular in the country. At least $8.7 billion will be allocated for new-style rural area building in the 2016 to 2020 period. More details coming up next. The figures were revealed during a seminar on proposing measures to boost sustainable new-style rural area building in underprivileged communes held recently in Hanoi. Of the total, $2.8 billion will be sourced from the central budget, and the rest will come from the local coffer. The National Target Program, initiated by the government in 2010, sets 19 criteria on socio-economic development, politics, and defense, aiming to boost the development of rural regions. By November this year, 10 districts has been recognized as new-style rural areas. The Central Coordination Office on New Rural Development reported 2,535 out of more than 10,000 communes across the country are underprivileged. They fulfilled an average of only 5.94 criteria, with 1,374 communes meeting between 5 and 9 criteria, and 552 achieving less than 5. The annual average income per capita in those disadvantaged areas is $636, while the rate of poor households is 18.56%. In order to efficiently implement the new style rural area building from 2016 to 2020, the central office will focus on communes in underprivileged areas. Accordingly, each disadvantaged commune will be allocated funding at least 4 times higher than in non-priority communes. Hundreds of tourists are spending their hard-earned money for the experience of being a farmer at a village in the ancient town of Hoi An. Many even remark, without stopping by the village, you are missing out on a fantastic experience. Join us for a closer look. Located only 2 kilometers northeast of Hoi An, Cha Kue village has long been famous as a producer of fresh and clean vegetables. Over 300 years ago, when the first group of people set foot on this land, they began to earn their keep through fishing. Though soon enough, they recognized the land's true potential in farming, thanks to the fertility brought about by seaweed. Since vegetable grown here is so sought after across the country, over 250 households here can happily cash in on nothing more than 20 hectares of farming land through many generations. Moreover, with Hoi An's tourism industry blooming, the village is receiving its share of the attention as well. The breathtaking view and fresh air aside, tourists can cast away their daily office job, roll up their sleeves, and join the Cha Kue village farmer experience. Here they can don on the traditional farmer outfit, complete with conical hats, and learn all the steps of farming.
It's a very interesting work. I think it's very organic and it's hard work, but it's feeding a lot of people. No, I haven't seen that before, so it was the first time.
After hours of hard but fun work, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the freshest vegetable. Don't forget to take some with you on your next trip. It is thanks to these innovative tourism products that Cha Kue village can showcase its 100-year-old tradition to the world, reflecting well on the beautiful customs of Vietnam. And that was the end of our news bulletin. Thank you for your attention. For more information, please log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. We'll see you soon.